The Wingman, everyone's favorite gun to hate. Let's have a look at what makes it so powerful, how best to use it, and how to be as effective as possible with it. Let's get started with the stats. At the time of publishing, we are only one weapon balance patch into Apex Legends. At this time, the Wingman deals 45 damage to the body, 90 to the head, and 40.5 to the leg. Your rate of fire is 156 RPMs, or about 2.5 shots per second. Recoil is purely visual. You have to fight the natural sway and instability of this weapon while aiming down sights, much more so than the actual recoil between every single shot. Magazine sizes are 6, 8, 9, and 12, depending on the level of heavy magazine that you have. The Skull Piercer attachment will increase your headshot multiplier from 2x to 2.25x, giving you 101.25 damage on a headshot versus a target with no helmet whatsoever. Please note that the game rounds off the displayed damage numbers to integer values, so what you see in-game is going to differ slightly than what is proven here mathematically. I've went ahead and created a table for you all, displaying the shots to kill for the Wingman with all combinations of armor, helmets, and Skull Piercer just for reference purposes. You'll find a link to this table in the description box down below. Now please note that helmet damage reductions apply to the full damage of the bullet, not just the bonus headshot damage. White helmets reduce 10% of damage, blue reduces 20%, and purple or gold reduces 25%. Notably on this table, you'll see that all Skull Piercer does in most situations is reduce the need for multiple headshots on your target to kill them outright from full health, but only in a few specific situations does it offer true time to kill or at least reliability benefits, as illustrated in the green marked cells. Hipfire accuracy is much greater than the current crosshair bloom would have you believe, even after the recent nerf. Even a few meters past where you would normally choose to rely on hipfire, the gun remains very accurate, and capable of getting a respectable percentage of headshots with good aim and luck. Usually though, this is a weapon that you're going to be using purely while aiming down sights. Ignoring the fact that you've got pretty much perfect accuracy and nearly no true recoil while using this weapon, it's important to note that you move at your full walking speed while ADS as well. By comparison, if you're using a shotgun, SMG, or an even heavier weapon, there are significant differences between your hipfire walking speed and your ADS walking speed. While it's a bit out of the scope for this video, suffice it to say that the specific thing making Wraith and Lifeline so dominant on PC, according to many, many people, is the small hitboxes of these legends, and the power of AD, or left-right strafing, when combined with Wingman, as well as hipfire shotguns and to a lesser extent SMGs. If you take those legends, Wraith and Lifeline, and give them a super powerful weapon, which does not slow them down, has a huge pool of ammo, and has the potential to kill in 2 to 3 shots with great accuracy and even a bit of luck, and you've got a surefire recipe for success. Think of the Wingman like you would think of a Destiny hand cannon. Powerful, accurate, effective at all ranges, ammo efficient, easy to use, satisfying to use, and a worthy main weapon in nearly all scenarios. So, clearly, since we got so sidetracked identifying the current major balance outcries about Apex Legends right now, that's well indicative of this weapon being worth your time. If it's got this many people complaining about it, it's probably pretty good. So, you've got basically the most universally strong weapon available in the game. It pairs well with all legends in the game, and is useful in all but super long-range skirmishes, but even then, it's honestly not the worst gun in the world for those fights either. Luckily for the Wingman, super long-range fights like that almost never happen, and even if you're approaching a final circle situation where those fights are gonna, well, be inevitable, it's usually not too hard to either gear or position your team around that fact, and not have to rely on your Wingman. If the biggest shortcoming the Wingman has is that it's suboptimal at 200 plus meters, not bad, but just suboptimal, I think it's doing more than fine in the current metagame. At 200 plus meters, it's certainly better than any SMG, pistol, or shotgun, even a full choke Peacekeeper just due to rate of fire concerns. It's competitive with all the assault rifles and the Spitfire. It's certainly better than Devotion out of an efficiency concern. And it's absolutely competitive with a longbow or even the triple take with precision choke attachment. This gun can spam hard with no damage drop-off, no recoil penalty to speak of, and wondrous ammo economy no matter the range. In all honesty, there's not a whole lot I can truly teach you about this weapon or about how to use it best. The numbers should speak for themselves. Projectile speed is a bit low, so you'll have to do a fair bit of leading with this weapon past medium range, but truth be told, it's not that big of a deal to account for and get used to. The projectile velocity is identical to the Prowler and only slightly slower than the Alternator, while also being slightly faster than the Peacekeeper. So if you're used to any of these guns, transitioning between them shouldn't be too difficult at all from a target leading standpoint. If you plan a fast sensitivity, where flick shots are easy for you, you could consider using your movement to help you aim more so than your mouse or right thumbstick. What I mean by this is get your crosshairs close to a target, and simply strafe left and right to help you get those last corrections onto your target. However, I feel that this technique is more suited to games with hit scan weapons, games with guns that have no bullet travel time. Think of Scout from Team Fortress 2 as the prime example for this technique. Lately, I've developed the habit of shooting at my target, then flicking my mouse away from them in order to get my gun and optics and that big recoil animation out of the way so I can see where my bullet travels exactly. I am very comfortable with my aim sensitivity on 1x multiplier scopes, so I know how far I have to flick my aim back to my target for my next shot, and I repeat this for every single shot in some fights. This is a bit more advanced of an aiming style, and requires a lot of practice not only in the training area in-game, but also under pressure in actual matches. This isn't an aim style I recommend to the average Joe, or necessarily would argue is quote-unquote the best, but it's what's comfortable for me at this point in time, and maybe it can help you too if you're using a mouse and can't get this gun quite figured out. The Wingman in its current state on PC is the correct choice of weapon almost all of the time. It's strong, it's consistent, rewarding of good aim, and can pretty much always be improved upon from a skill standpoint. It lets you move at full speed while aiming at down sights, setting it apart from the majority of other guns in the game, which is significant specifically in the PC version of the game. It also accepts a 1x digital threat scope, which makes it ideal for challenging Bangalore, who is one of the most popular legends in the game at this time. With a bit of time and practice, but honestly not too much, you'll be slaying with the Wingman too. Drop it on a character with either a small hitbox or some form of speed boosting ability, and you've got some serious danger in the palm of your hand. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you've learned something new. If you've had a different experience with the Wingman, especially you controller players out there, I'd love to hear about those and your own strategies in the comments section below. This is not an end-all, be-all guide. I am not an all-knowing or infallible person, so please, if there's anything I chose not to dive into here that you want to talk about, the comments section is where you can go to get those extracurriculars in. I hope to see you all again very soon, either here on YouTube or over on my Twitch stream. And I'm as excited as you are for the Battle Pass and a new legend coming out very soon. Take care.